This topic is in ALEX, and the name of it is Solving Word Problems on Proportions, Problem Type 1. Kind of a weird title to it, but basically it'll cover proportions. Proportions just means that you have two fractions set equal to each other, and usually it's a way to compare two different types of quantities of something. So we'll just dive right into a problem. Mel drove 405 miles using 20 gallons of gas. At this rate, how many gallons of gas will he use if he drove 243 miles? So a lot of times some of the keywords that tell you to use proportions is at this rate. That could signal that you're going to want to do something. So the two type of quantities that are comparing is miles and gallons. So just as a primer, if this is kind of new to you, I'm going to put miles on the top here and gallons on the bottom, just because those are, I could have put gallons on top and miles on the bottom. It doesn't really matter. But what does matter is if I have miles on top on this side, I need to have miles on top of this side, which also means that gallons needs to be on the bottom. So now how many miles? He drove 405, and that was on 20 gallons. They're going to give us another statement about miles and gallons, and usually they're going to give us one of those numbers, either the miles or the gallons. So if we go back to what we read, they told us 243 miles. So I labeled it with the letters to help me kind of put the numbers in the right spot. We are looking for gallons, so I'm just going to put an X there. The way that we solve these proportions is we solve by multiplying diagonal. So we're going to do 20 times 243, and that has to equal these other two pieces that are diagonal to each other multiplied together. So the first thing I need to do is find out what 20 times 243 is, times 243. That gives us 4,860. And now we need to get that G by itself. I should have put an X probably, but we want to get that letter by itself. It's multiplying with the 405, so we want to divide both sides. So when I take 4,860 and I divide that by 405, I'm going to get that the number of gallons is going to be 12. Most of the time for these type of math problems, if you're getting it out of a math book or on ALEX, these ones are going to come out pretty. It's not going to be 12.28 or a decimal that goes on forever. So you set up a proportion, make sure that whatever you have for the fraction on the left-hand side equals the fraction on the right. Make sure you have your letters lined up. Then you just cross multiply to solve. Another one, let's say that we have a boy named Philippe, and let's say that he runs 3 miles, and that only takes him 28 minutes. And at the same rate is the way that it's worded. How many miles would he run if he has 40? If he spends 42 minutes running, they want to know how many miles that is. So again, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a proportion. What are the two units involved? We have miles and we have minutes. So I'm going to put miles on top and minutes on bottom. And just to help make sure I put numbers in the right spot, I want to make sure I put miles on top and minutes on the bottom. I really like to just kind of set things up with words first. The first sentence, he runs 3 miles in 28 minutes. They give us one more number, and it's in the next sentence. If he ran for 42 minutes, I need to be careful. This is where my minutes are going down below. That's going to be X miles. Now we cross multiply to solve. 3 times 42 has to equal 28x. And again, take out your handy dandy calculator or just do it by hand. 42 times 3 is 126. Now we need to get the x by itself. It's multiplying with the 28, so we are dividing. And 126 divided by 28 is going to be 4.5. So Philippe ran 4.5, and again, we want to have units here in our answer. I don't think I mentioned that in the last one. It's 4.5 what? Look back to where we have our x. It's going to be miles. All right, I hope this helped.